Greetings, everyone. I am Dr. John Berry, and welcome to CrossTalk Waterloo. We are in the business of exploring the Cedar Valley, and today we're looking at the Boys and Girls Club of the Cedar Valley. Joining us is James Lee III, Chief Executive Officer. Stay with us. We're back. James, it's a pleasure. You have not been with us long. How long up there? We were chatting about that. How long have you been?
5 months so far.
Since you've assumed the position, if you will, of Chief Executive Officer of the Boys and Girls Club. Can you tell our audience a little bit about your background as we move forward and where you're coming from and all that good stuff?
Absolutely. So I'm originally from Asheville, North Carolina, where I worked as the Chief Executive Officer for Boys and Girls Club there for about 3 years. Before that, I worked in the local community college teaching business administration, a lot of supervisory and working with manufacturers to help build their local staff pool, so more in workforce development. And I did that for about 4 years. And before that, I worked with the local city, working with women and minority-owned businesses to build and expand their business right there in the Asheville area.
What was it about the Greater Cedar Valley and Waterloo, where the Boys and Girls Club is strategically positioned or located? Better choice of words. What was it that drew you? The challenge?
I think that the club has such great community support, and the Cedar Valley is such a beautiful community. It's a warm and welcoming community, and it was definitely a place where I wanted to come and move my family to.
So I also read a little bit of your bio. You hold an MBA. So
Yes.
Where did you go to undergrad? You were always a Southern boy, or I'm a New York City boy, but
No, went to American Intercontinental University just outside of Chicago in Hoffman Estates.
Okay. And so, are you from Chicago? Or
No, I'm from Asheville. Well, I was born in Knoxville, Tennessee,
Okay.
and then grew up in Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay, well, outstanding. So for our viewing audience, the Boys and Girls Club, I remember about 4 or 5 years ago, an outstanding commercial, the ad that you had. You had J-Lo in there and so many notable individuals. I'm blanking, Denzel Washington.
Yes.
And the Boys and Girls Club, your organization's headquartered in Atlanta.
Yes.
Can you provide our viewing audience with a little backdrop of the Boys and Girls Club?
Absolutely. So we do have a umbrella, so it's more of for a business sense, it would be more of a franchise. So each local organization is ran and operated by a local board, which we have 26 outstanding community members that make up our board here in the Cedar Valley. And the idea is that each local board really works to move the needle or build a better community for our youth by providing our local youth the ability to grow and learn and be and have a fun, safe environment. But we take a lot of our program, so our Boys and Girls Club of America, which is located in Atlanta, kind of the headquarters office, they develop all of our programming, give us the fact base and information that we need to be able to implement programming here locally with our local spin on it.
So do they provide monies or is there one national treasury, if you will, but you wish? Or
I wish. No, all money is raised locally, but there are some pass-through money. So Boys and Girls Club of America does try and make some partnerships with some national organizations like the NFL to try and connect the local clubs with local teams to be able to provide that support for the local clubs. So they do create national agreements, and there are some pass-through monies that we do receive from that, but 99.9% of our budget is raised here locally.
Okay, so has that commercial, and I've not seen it in a while, there was a great deal of embedded intentionality around the fact that you have Hollywood superstars that entered into the Boys and Girls Clubs across the nation. Did that help with fundraising?
Well, it does kind of help with
Okay.
fundraising, but more so what it does is it shows our kids that coming through the club provides you with opportunities to do whatever you want to do, whether it's become a professional athlete, whether it's become an actor, or whether it's to be a doctor, a lawyer, or even a plumber or a welder, and have a pretty significant income. And so it just shows our community what the Boys and Girls Club can do with our youth if we're given the opportunity.
So, what are some? Who are some of the other nonprofits that you partner with? If you can elaborate on that, both public school districts or
Absolutely. So we're a partner with the Waterloo Community Schools, Cedar Falls Community Schools. We also partner with Big Brothers Big Sisters. We partner with the food bank. So it's really, for us, the goal is to how can we better make impact for the youth that we serve. And if there are other organizations that are doing similar work, we want to be a partner. And not really fight over who's doing what and who's the best.
So, how do you partner with, for instance, the school districts?
So right now we have 3 programs that are inside the school at Carver and at Lincoln, and then at Highland Elementary. And what we do is their teachers, we pay their teachers to provide our what we call our power hour, which is our homework time, so that they are getting curriculumed homework help so that they can increase their test scores. Highland is one of our premier sites because of that kind of intentionality with partnering with the schools. Those test scores and those academic levels there's a lot of gain that is being presented in our fact finding by making that intentionality of partnering with the school district.
And that's after school.
That is after school.
Okay.
So this is it's almost like an extension, an extra hour that they get of direct help from teachers that understand the curriculum. And then after their hour, then they come back to us and we give them their snack and we do some of the enrichment program, character building, leadership development programming. And then, of course, the activities of basketball, kickball, and those kind of things. And then we're able to feed them a meal before they go home so that they get a nice hot meal. And then parents are picking them up at between 6:30 and 7 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what the other piece that I wanted to hear. So if I was a part of that program at Carver, I'll start out at the Boys and Girls Club here and then go back to Carver or remain at Carver, get the tutorial session, and then move to the center.
So for Carver, yes, you would start out at Carver. At the end of your day, then you'll have that hour of power hour with the teachers, and then the school district buses them to our site. So all of our the Waterloo Community Schools, we're a bus stop for all of those schools, so they are sent to our Lime Street location.
Okay, so now, like Head Start that I know a little bit about, are you poverty indexed or no?
No.
Whosoever come, let them.
Yes, we have a small parent investment fee of $30. Okay. That's what we ask our families to invest
annually.
Annually.
Okay.
So it's just once a year, and that's so if they start today, it won't be due again until a year later on the 27th or 29th. And what we do is the rest of those funds we fundraise for. So we seek the community support. And it costs about $1,589 to send one kid to our club every year.
Okay, every fiscal year.
Every fiscal year.
So, and what I'm hearing and the listening audience is also hearing as well. Clearly, so you're providing a snacks, and also dinner.
During the school year. During the summer, we provide breakfast, lunch, and a snack.
That can be kind of expensive. You hear that, and you need assistance.
Yes.
So so is it more expensive in the summer, and does your numbers go down in the summer?
No, our numbers do not go down. They actually increase in the summer because we do provide service from. This year it was 8:30 to 5. Next year we're looking at going from 8:30 to 6 to give our parents more of a time and opportunity to work during the summer because that's when they can really earn extra money. And so instead of having them rush to get off earlier, we want them to be able to provide for their family. And so we can make sure that we have kids that are there that are get in some enrichment programs. So we're going to extend our time next summer to an hour, and we're paying for all of their field trips at all 5 of our sites.
So the meal operation in unto itself is quite complex in that you have a cook and.
Well, luckily that partnership with the food bank helps
okay.
us. So they bring in our meals for our kids, and we're able to serve it to them, and then we're able to send the kids home fed and ready to go for the next day.
So in preparation for these shows, our outstanding executive producer always has a question. So this is William K's question. Developing global competitiveness graduates. I looked at your website, your national website. Can you speak a little bit to that aspect of what you do and how is that integrated in producing this nation's next generation of human capital?
Yes. So our stance on that is that we have the Cedar Valley's most precious resources in our care, which is our youth. And so part of the ways that we're trying to address that global competitiveness is that we're focusing in on making sure that our kids can read on their grade level, that they have other opportunities besides being athletics or doing something different, but they're able to really compete by going to visiting colleges and visiting other STEM-related programs. We've incorporated a lot of our educational programming, so during the summer we make sure that they do what we call summer brain gain, which is our summer loss program to prevent that summer loss that takes place with kids not being out of school. We partner with the school districts to put them through a summer academy so they get that additional educational support during the summer, and then we take them on the field trips and provide that youth development. So it's not just about the characteristic of we want them to be educated, but we also want them to be whole and complete as kids. So we want to make sure that they have those character building aspects and those leadership development aspects. So we focus a lot on those pieces as well as how to manage their money. So we also employ them, our teens.
The Job Foundation? Or do you
No,
work
this
with?
is us
Internally.
internally.
So at what age does the global competitiveness component start?
It starts from pretty much day one. We work with our kids as young as kindergartners to start to provide that understanding on their grade level. And luckily with Boys and Girls Club of America, they give us curriculum that is age appropriate to provide that introduction to that global competitiveness.
So if I go through that program, would it be possible for me to end up, which would be ideal, with a scholarship to University of Northern Iowa, or Wartburg, or Iowa State, or University of Iowa? Or,
Absolutely. So by starting off in our program from kindergarten and going all the way through to our what we call our teen center, our teenage between 9th and 12th grade, we have what we call our Youth of the Year, which is a competition that we send them. We have locally, and then from that we select one teen that then goes and competes for us as a state against the other 7 clubs that are located in Iowa. From that group, they're selected, and if we have a kid that is selected, then they go and compete for us regionally. At each step of the competition, once they get to locally and then statewide and regional and then national, they earn a scholarship. So they have the ability of having their full college ride or close to it covered by participating in our Youth of the Year competition. And then we also work with them to find other scholarships that are out there that they may not know that are available to them.
So it's not a poverty index program. So the children that come to you is across the board. Let's hope so.
Yes.
Well, it's a good thing.
Which provides that diversity and understanding and different perspectives, because we can live in the same area or be sitting in the same room but have 2 different experiences. And so being able to provide that ability to have those conversations makes that well-rounded individual, that they're not just looking at it from one lens, which is their perspective, what their life experiences have been, but they can then hear other voices around the table and recognize who's missing from the table to invite fight them in the future. So as we provide our future leaders, we want leaders that can identify that we're missing people from the table.
So for the philanthropic sector, if you're listening in, you definitely need additional
Absolutely.
academic scholarships.
We can definitely use additional
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention any names, but the philanthropic sector, that's good. Because we do and we should promise our children, our girls and boys, that if they do the right thing and they jump all the academic hoops and social hoops and do what they're supposed to do through the Boys and Girls Club, that we will back them.
Absolutely.
And that's important.
Absolutely. And not just the academics piece of it, but we also focus in on the trades piece, because not everybody's built for college. You know, I'm a late learner. I tried college right after high school and didn't do so well, and then went into the workforce, and then realized very quickly that to be successful, I do need to go back to college. And so for those kids that aren't built for college at any time in their life, there's also some great opportunities with trades. You've got plumbing, you've got welding, you've got brick mason, where people can make a good living.
And for those of us, James, who have had to call the plumber, they charge like their position.
Yes.
So yeah, you definitely can make, or electrician,
Electrician,
yeah.
Even automotive. I mean, you can open up your own business, and so.
So how does that work? We kind of got the academic piece. If you
Yes.
want to go to higher, if you're leaning towards higher education, how does one move through the Boys and Girls Club of Cedar Valley if you aspire to become a plumber or electrician? Do you have those partnerships with the local companies here or print? Go ahead.
Yes, so we do. We have a great partnership with John Deere. In fact, they have supported our capital campaign for our new teen center to create our STEM program, our STEM lab that will be at our teen center. And they're going to bring in some of their engineers so that our kids can get to see the variety of engineering. My son, who wants to be an engineer, is a senior at West. He's super excited about this opportunity to have that conversation with other engineers to figure out where he wants to land in that engineering spectrum. Does he want to be a mechanical engineer? Does he want to be, a chemical engineer? So that ability to just kind of see the difference and to look at manufacturing. So we're building manufacturing partnerships to be able to take our kids into plants like Tyson, and just to see what other opportunities are out there for those kids that may not decides that college isn't for them.
Well, yeah, I don't want to give a shout out to Bergen Plumbing, Young Heating and Cooling, and also Faraday. If I missed out, just give him a call.
Yes, absolutely.
But you have we touched on the plumbers and the electricians, and again, that's an extremely that can be a very lucrative vocation, if you will. So you're looking at partnering with those local businesses as well?
Yes, yeah. And the idea is, so with our junior staff program, one of our goals in the coming year or two is to really take this group of teenagers who are working for us that wants to look at other areas like maybe government, maybe plumbing, and put them in with these organizations, these companies, and let them learn and see this field actually firsthand, and we're paying for them to be there, so it's no burden on the organizations that's housing them. All they have to do is just
an apprenticeship,
almost like an apprenticeship.
Yeah, looking over someone's shoulder, and that's how it was done years and years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and some of the time, we must talk about on 4th Street, that big, beautiful building that's going up that you inherited, and you're also going to leave your mark on it as well. It's called the Teen Center?
Yes, it's the Boys and Girls Club of the Cedar Valley's Teen and Educational Center.
So why was there a bifurcation, a split from, is it the little ones you needed more capacity, more space, or there's going to be a special emphasis put on the Teen Center, I take it?
There's definitely going to be a special emphasis put on the teens, because our teens needed kind of their own space. Right now they're sharing a building with K through 8, and they really didn't have, all they had was really just a room that they called their own. And right now we can only serve 87 teens in that one small facility or small space. There's a need to serve so many more kids, especially with 2 high schools in this community. Why are we not serving more kids? So if we can build a building that can house a few more kids, then we can give them an opportunity to expand, to grow, and to have that fun, safe environment.
So what is, as you move forward, when is the building coming online? I pass it every day going to work.
So it's supposed to come online around Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But it's construction.
From your lips to God's ears. Huh? Okay.
It's construction.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that it stays on track. But right now everything's still on goal to be done by Thanksgiving, and then we have our grand opening that we'll do on December 19th at 4 p.m. And we're excited about that because we've invited some national representation from Boys and Girls Club to come and help us open up this new teen center, because this is such a great task and a great opportunity for our community to greet and welcome 150 teenagers into that building, to provide them with space to do their homework and to do STEM, and to work with community partners and mentors to grow themselves and decide where they find their success within this community. And so we're excited about welcoming this new opportunity, and these teens are going to take our community on a tour. So if December 19th at 4 p.m. you're not doing anything, it's a great opportunity for you to come by, see the space, and how the teens share about why they love this new building that we're going to open up. But I do want to share that this teen center, although it was built to serve 150 kids, this is a community asset. The community helped us build this building, and they help us keep our other sites open. And so we want to invite the community into our facility so they can see firsthand how we are serving our youth and how we're developing our youth for the future, and to give us some ideas for how we can do it and do it better, and as we continue to try and serve and meet the needs of the community.
Okay, so what are your operational hours during the academic year, during the school year?
So during the school year, we open up whatever time the first kid arrives. So typically it's about 2:30.
With the 2:30, they're coming from what, elementary or?
That would be high school.
High school?
High school and middle school. So we open up at 2:30, and then we close at 7. All of our sites currently closes at 7. When our new teen center comes on, that time is going to be a little bit later, because we want to make sure that those teens are not in the streets during the time that they are most likely to get in trouble. And so that's between that kind of 7 to 8, 9 o'clock time period. So we're looking at and evaluating if 8 or 9 o'clock would be the best time for us to close. But we're probably going to be in that realm. And they'll still get a hot meal for dinner. And we'll still provide them with all the programming aspects of it, as well as potentially some opportunity to do some athletics as well.
So the athletics was at your existing building and not the new building. The new building doesn't have the square footage for the basketball courts.
It won't have a full gym, but it'll have a half gym, but there'll be 2 goals on that half gym. So they will have their own space to play basketball and to do some other athletic programming. So it's a great opportunity for them to have their own space in their own building. And really the only time that they'll be coming over to the main site is if there is a competition where we have a full gym for them to be able to utilize.
So is there a partnership between the Boys and Girls Club of Cedar Valley and the local media outlets? You're doing outstanding work there, your mission, and how does that work as it relates to the local marketing? Do they give you a break? They should. You heard it here first. Go ahead.
Yes, they should. They do give us, we do a lot of as much free marketing as we can. We do have some sponsors that help us to market, and we are rebranding ourselves so that we can build a better brand. One of the things that we've noticed, I noticed coming in, is that the information that I could find says that we have a lot of kids that move around the Cedar Valley, not necessarily out of the Cedar Valley, but around the Cedar Valley. And talking with the board and with my staff, one of the things that we all agree that we want to do is to have, if nothing else is consistent in that child's life, we as a club should be the consistent thing. So we're really working on our branding schemes and our furniture schemes and all of that piece. But we're doing it, of course, on a budget. So it's not going to be a rollout, brand new, fresh everything, but we're doing it in stages so that our kids feel when they walk through our door, whether it's at Highland Elementary or it's at Lime Street, that they know that they're in a Boys and Girls Club.
So you do have alums here.
Yes.
And is there a move to integrate the alums to just like the famous alums, but here
Absolutely.
and some have gone on to play basketball and football for the Division I institutions and others. How is there a plan to try to bring them back or incorporate them?
Absolutely. So we've hired a training and development specialist. Her name is Clarissa. Our goal with her is that she will reach out to our alums as well as provide some training and development plans for our frontline staff, our youth development professionals, and to grant, because she was an alum of the club.
Oh, good.
So we have a young lady who grew up in the Lime Street Club and can share with our YDPs as well as our kids of how you can then turn around and come back home and still serve the community. So it's a great story of our youth development professionals to be able to see, and our kids to see, that you can return home and be successful.
So, which helps you out as CEO a lot. If you can make a pitch for your endowment, do you have an endowment?
We do have an
Okay.
endowment, and we're still wanting to collect from that endowment. And really what the endowment does is that it helps us build, to keep our operations going in the future so that we can make sure that not only our teen center is successful, but our Lime Street is successful in running. It is an older building, and so with that comes some of the inherited problems of age. Things starts to break down really easily.
You hear that, Grow Cedar Valley? You hit Grow Cedar Valley. Because we need the corporate sector. In the time we have allotted, if you could provide our viewing audience with your contact information, that would be great.
Absolutely. The best way to reach me is by sending me an email at james@cedarvalleyclubs.org. You can always go to our website, cedarvalleyclubs.com, or you can call our facility, which is 234-2839.
Can you give the number just one more time?
Absolutely. 234-2839.
Yeah, so we definitely want the sector, the population and the local sector here to support the Boys and Girls Club, because they're going to move on to fill positions with the corporate sector here in the school, the nonprofits, and that's what it's all about. James, this has really been informative and outstanding, that you're playing that pivotal role in producing human capital or harnessing and enhancing human capital for the greater Cedar Valley, if you will. Thank you so very much. That's our show. On behalf of all of us at CrossTalk Waterloo, please stay informed, stay engaged, stay on top of the issues. I am Dr. John Berry. Thank you for this time, and until next time.